get going. Okay, sit yourself onto your lift and then come into a good cross-leg position. And once you're in cross legs, just have a little wriggle about. Make sure that you're sitting evenly. Sorry, I haven't put my microphone on. Just give me a moment. Can you hear me more clearly? Anyone? Yeah. More clear? Yeah. Okay. So sit yourself onto your lift. Just feel that the seat bones are level. Go unlevel purposely. So just sit kind of unlevel and then try and lift up into the chest. So you can really feel it very quickly if that isn't right. So just reset. Just move the buttock flesh out to the side and back so that you can feel evenness at the seat bones. Elevate the heart area up to the ceiling and draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Fill your lungs from the bottom to the top and empty them from the top to the bottom. Look at something that doesn't move. Keeping your eyes still in the sockets and just observing your energy. Observing your energy through the breath. Take conscious deep inhalations without overworking the breath, just a conscious deep inhalation and conscious deep exhalations. Feel how each inhalation brings in energy to the body. So don't hold the breath, just let the breath be slightly deeper than is typical. Again, we're not overworking the breath. We're just consciously deepening it slightly. Release your knees, bring your hands into Namaste. Push the palms consciously together. Lengthen from your armpits into your elbows into the heels of your hands, the heels of your hands into the fingertips. And with an exhalation, allow your eyes to gently close. With an exhalation, draw your chin down to meet your chest. Lift your chest up to meet your chin. Spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for with something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area, and then release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. Just bring the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb. Just raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Hold on to your knees. Elevate the heart area upwards. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Take a deep inhalation in through the nose. And then turn to the right side. Drawing your abdomen across. Your ribs and your shoulders. Keep the head looking forwards. Turn from the abdomen and the ribs. And the shoulders, just bring in energy into the body, using the exhalation to turn a little more deeply. Come back to the center. Hold on to your knees and lift up into the chest, elevating the heart area upwards, drawing your shoulders down. Take a deep inhalation in through the nose. And then turn to the left. So just taking your time, just breathing into the inhalation, turning into the exhalation. Just focusing on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations, bringing in energy and using the exhalation to turn a little more deeply. And then come back to the center. Come off your lift, sit back on your heels. Sit back on your heels with the big toes together and the knees apart. And try and press the shins deeply into the floor. Elevate your heart area upwards and then come forwards, lengthening forwards. Pressing the palms into the floor. Elevating the heart area upwards as you come forwards. Just come forwards gently. If there's any discomfort in your back, put a block underneath your head rather than coming all the way down. But stretch forwards. Just feel how Adho Mukha Virasana can help to open up the back, open up the tension in the lower back. Draw the tailbone down towards the heels. Lengthen from the hips into the armpits, into the elbows, the wrists, the palms, the fingers, the fingertips, the fingernails. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Come up onto your knees, spread your palms, bring your feet as wide apart as your mat, and then come up into dog down. Press the kneecaps through to the backs of the knees. Press the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs. Lift the seat bones up to the ceiling. Lift the seat bones up. Lift the tailbone up. Spread the fingers. Spread the palms. Keep your hands where they are, keep your feet where they are, swing your hips forwards, come up into dog up. Beyond the tip toes, press into the heels and lengthen the abdomen forwards, lifting the abdomen towards the diaphragm, towards the collarbone, to the chin. Push deeply into the heels. And then come back up into dog down. Breathing even deep inhalations, observing how dog down feels a little different after dog up. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And then step your feet forwards, come up into a standing position. Get some blocks for your hands for half uttanasana. And then bring your feet as wide apart as your mat. Have the feet as wide apart as the mat. Just make sure that your toes are in line in front of you. Bring your heels out so that you can feel that they're touching the edge of the mat. Lift up into the chest, elevating the heart area upwards, winging the elbows back, hinge at the hips, come forwards. Lengthen forwards, beyond fingertips. So, just starting in half uttanasana. The action is to tighten the kneecaps, to press the fronts of the knees through to the backs of the knees, to turn the fronts of the thighs inwards. And then to lift from the back of the knee up towards the seat bone. And then to project the chin and the chest forwards. To straighten the back, to concave in the shoulder blades. So this is what we want to go from, and then we've got to concave the shoulder blades inwards. Draw the shoulder blades in towards the front chest. So that isn't necessarily, if you're like this, that isn't necessarily a case of just trying to push the shoulder blades forwards. Because it doesn't really work that way. It works by hinging the hips, by drawing the front rim of the pelvis down towards the top of the legs. The seat bones raise up towards the ceiling, and then you can concave in the shoulder blades. So try and keep the shoulder blades drawing in towards the front chest. Keep the sternum bone lifting up towards the ceiling. If you can go down lower, then do, but just protect your back if there's discomfort. From here, if you feel like you can go into full uttanasana, then put the thumb into the crease of the elbow, wrap your fingers around the elbows, keep the back straight, keep hinging from the hips, and then hang down. If full uttanasana doesn't feel right for you today, then just stay with half uttanasana. But whichever you do, keep the legs working with determination, lifting out of the feet into the shins, into the knees, into the thighs, up into the hips, lengthening down into the floor with the spine. Focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Release your hands down to the floor. Just come into half uttanasana, go back to the blocks, or bring your hands onto your shins if you haven't got blocks, projecting the chin and the chest forwards. And then bring the hands into the hips, bend your knees on the way up if you need to, and then come up into the standing position. So come into Tadasana. Be with the inner edge of the feet together. Lift up into the chest. Focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations, elevating the heart area up to the ceiling. Turn the palms all the way out. Just spend a few moments just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Are you consciously breathing into both lungs evenly or into one lung more than the other? So seek to actively even that out. Bring levelness to the lungs, levelness to the breath. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards the chest, and then step or jump your feet nice and wide. Go wider than you would do for typical trikonasana. So really wide. Go for a wide stance with the legs, like you're going to do prasarita, padottanasana instead. But we are going to do trikonasana, but I want you to do an extra wide one. So sometimes it changes how the pose feels. Well, it will definitely change the way how the pose feels. So really wide. Turn the left toes in, the right leg and foot all the way out. Just making sure that that heel lines up, that right heel lines up with the instep of the left leg. So really wide, go as wide as you can. Turn the legs outwards, the fronts of the thighs, turn them outwards. The back leg as well as the front leg, and then reach down and find the leg. Preferably the shin, but just wherever you can reach. So a slightly wider trikonasana than usual. And then I want you to go back to the breath and try and fill the lungs evenly. Really consciously working with the breath. If you can reach down to the floor, then do. So bring the hand onto the floor on the little toe side. But don't lose the legs. Keep the legs lifting from the feet up into the hips, up into the spine. Drawing the abdomen up to the ceiling. Aiming to fill the lungs from the bottom to the top. Stretching the arms like you're holding onto that belt. And from there, reach up with the top hand, come back to the center, and then swap the feet around, turn the right toes in, and the left leg and foot all the way out. Again, just observing the position of the feet. And then come down, find the shin. Reach up. If you can reach down to the floor, but not at the expense of losing the chest like this. Keep the chest turning up to the ceiling. Keep the breath even and deep. Consciously breathing into both lungs evenly. Keep your attention in that back leg, pressing it firmly into the floor, keeping the back leg really firm. And then reach up, come back to the center, bring the feet parallel, and then step or jump, feet back together. So that's a much wider trikonasana than we would typically do. We tend to typically avoid going too wide. It's quite hard to hold, isn't it? But it brings life into the pose in a different way. It helps you to focus on the breath in a different way. So in Tadasana, just observe your breath. Are you more willingly breathing into both lungs evenly, or is there still a bias? Listen to the sound of the inhalation and the sound of the exhalation. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards your chest, and then step or jump the feet, go wide again. So for prasarita padottanasana this time, have you bring your hands on your hips, just step your feet back so that your heels are in line with the edge of the mat. Then you know that your feet are in line with each other. So nice and wide, and then turn your toes in, even if you have to bend your knees to do it. And then tighten your kneecaps. Tighten your kneecaps, lift up into the chest, elevating the heart area upwards. Winging the elbows towards each other behind you. Take a deep inhalation, and on the exhalation, come down. Hinging at the hips, and then reach down or put the blocks underneath your hands if you can't reach. So nice and wide with the legs. Pressing the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs. Lifting the seat bones up towards the ceiling. So just like in Uttanasana, when we were trying to concave in the shoulder blade region, it didn't really come from just pushing the shoulder blades forwards towards the chest. There was a little bit of that, but it really has to come from the hips. So lift the seat bone away from the floor. Lift the seat bones and the tailbone up towards the ceiling, and then lengthen from the abdomen to the collarbone, abdomen to the diaphragm, to the collarbone, to the chin, so that the shoulder blade region then can move in. It has to come from the hips. Breathe into both lungs evenly. Listen to the breath. Listen to the inhalation and the exhalation. If you can go down, if you can concave in the shoulder blades at this stage, then hinge at the hips, continuing to hinge at the hips. Bring the heels of the hands in line with the heels of the feet, and bring the head down. But not weight on the head. Keep the weight back in the heels. Keep lifting the seat bones. Keep breathing even deep inhalations and exhalations. I don't want you to do this, to kind of just reach down to the floor with a rounded back. If that's happening, then just come back to the first stage. So Andrew, just come back to the first stage and just keep lifting the chest, coming forwards. So you've got to keep the back straight as you come forward. Push the hands into the floor if you've got your head down. Push your hands into the floor and try and almost slide the hands forwards toward your head or to the sides of your head. Okay, from there come forwards, come back to the halfway point, and then bring your heels of the hands into the floor, step or jump your feet back together, and then come back up into Tadasana. Come back into Tadasana, just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Stretch your arms forwards, interlock the fingers, turn the palms all the way out, and then raise your arms over your head. Release your arms. Swap the interlock of the fingers. Raise your arms over your head. Padottanasana, keeping the breath consciously even. So maybe earlier where it took a little bit of effort to breathe evenly, maybe it starts to come more naturally. Okay, and then release your arms, come down onto your knees, and have your hands shoulder width apart. Have the hands shoulder width apart, really spread in the fingers, spread in the palms. Step back, turn your toes under, and then come back up into dog down, but a narrower dog down. That doesn't mean the hands and the feet are closer together. It means that the hands are shoulder width apart, the feet are hip width apart. And if you feel like you're not wide enough between the hands and the feet, then step the feet back a little. Consciously tighten the kneecaps, press the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs, and turn the fronts of the thighs inwards. Breathe evenly into both lungs. Feel that you can fill the lungs from the bottom to the top. Emptying them from the top to the bottom. Emptying them evenly, filling them evenly. Just working with the breath. Filling the lungs evenly, emptying them evenly. If I'm holding you in the pose for too long, then rest in Adho Mukha Virasana, but otherwise see if you can stay for a few more breaths. Really consciously turning the out breath into physical action. Okay, everyone, come down onto your knees and then sit back on your heels. Just spend a moment just to observe your energy, to observe the lightness of your energy. And then hinge at the hips. Come forward, stretching the hands forwards, hitting back into the heels. Lengthening forwards and then bringing the forehead down. Listen to the sound of the inhalation and the sound of the exhalation. Continuing to breathe evenly into both lungs, evenly out of both lungs. Okay, bring your hand underneath your shoulders, push yourself up, back into a seated position. And again, just observe how your energy has changed. Just listening to the sound of the inhalation and the sound of the exhalation. Okay, get a bolster, or if you haven't got a bolster, get some cushions just to lay out along, and have a blanket for your head. And then we're going to come to supta padottanasana, soles of the feet together. So if you've got a really bulky bolster, sit at least an inch away from your bolster. My bolster isn't particularly bulky at the end, so it kind of flattens at the end. So I can sit quite close to it. But don't sit too close if you've got a really bulky bolster. It will just like pinch in your back. Just come back onto your hands. Lift consciously up into the chest, like you're going to lift the seat bones off the floor, but don't. Guide yourself down along the bolster. Just adjust the blanket so that it's underneath your neck and your head, underneath your neck and head. And then just establish initially, does this feel right for your back? If it feels a bit pinchy, then sit yourself up. Just step away, come away from the end of the bolster a little, and then lift up and come back down. So you've got to kind of work with consciousness in the lumbar area, and then keep the feet as close to the body as you can, and let the knees fall apart. If there's stiffness or resistance in your hips, put some blocks on the outsides of your thighs. Otherwise, just let these inner groins lengthen into the inner knees. So feel how the bolster or the cushions give you opening of the chest. And then focus again on filling the lungs from the bottom to the top, filling them evenly. And emptying your lungs from the top to the bottom. Emptying them evenly. Just feel whether that, maybe if there was an imbalance in the breath at the beginning of the session, whether you've in some way addressed that. You feel as though you are filling the lungs and emptying them evenly. Just focus on the act of filling the lungs, feeling the chest rise upwards and outwards, expanding to accommodate the breath. As you exhale, observe how the lungs relax, chest lowers, and the intercostal muscles between the lower ribs contract. Just enjoy that feeling of evenness of breath. Observe how the sound of the in-breath is different to that of the sound of the out-breath. Focusing on filling the lungs evenly and emptying them evenly. Listening to the breath, observing the difference of the sound of the in-breath and the out-breath, observing how the chest rises upwards and outwards with the in-breath and the out-breath. So the first stage of ujjayi pranayama is just the observation of the breath. The second stage of ujjayi pranayama is where we slightly deepen the out-breath. So the in-breath remains normal and slightly longer, deeper exhalations, just without overworking the breath, just a slightly longer, deeper exhalation until the lungs are empty, and then a normal inhalation. So just carry on with normal breathing for a moment. Take a normal exhalation, a normal inhalation, and another normal exhalation, then a normal inhalation, and then a long, slow, deep, steady exhalation until the lungs are empty. So slightly longer than normal, and then a normal inhalation. And then either continual cycles of that ujjayi stage 2 or intermittent. Do one cycle of extended out breath, normal in breath, and then some normal breaths for a couple of cycles, and then go back, or continual cycles, whichever feels better for you. There should never be any tension around the chest, around the neck, around the throat or the head. Just a few more cycles. So the breath should feel even in the lungs, just longer, slower, deeper exhalations until the lungs are empty, until the sound of the breath stops. Just breathing normally if this is causing any tension in the chest or around the neck, throat or head, or if it's causing any throbbing in the temples, just normal breath. Just a couple more cycles. And then a normal in-breath, a normal out-breath, and just returning the breath back to a normal rhythm. Just normal inhalations, normal exhalations. Just observing how perhaps your energy has changed. And then when your breath has returned back to its normal rhythm, And push your elbows into the floor. Push your elbows into the floor. Lift the chest. Just bring yourself up into padottanasana. Just hold on to the big toes. Hold on to the big toes and roll onto the front edge of the seat bone. Lift the abdomen up to the diaphragm, up to the collarbone, up to the chin, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. So if holding the big toes makes you feel like you kind of drop in the chest, then you can hold around the shins, or you can thread a belt underneath your feet and hold onto the belt. Otherwise, just lifting up into the chest, just normal breathing, just observing that evenness of inhalation and exhalation, evenness on both sides of the lungs. Okay, from there, coming to cross legs. So if you do half padottanasana, you can do half padottanasana. If you just do normal cross legs, then just come into normal cross legs. Hold on to your knees and elevate the heart area upwards. Feel how the chest rises with the breath. So take a deep inhalation and then turn to the right side with the exhalation, pushing your hand into the bolster behind you, drawing your abdomen across your ribs and your shoulders, digging the back hand into the floor. Come back to the centre. Hold on to your knees, lift up into your chest, and then come around to the left. Digging the back hand into the floor, rolling onto the front edge of the seat bones. Just feeling that the seat bones feel level, using just normal exhalations to turn a little more deeply into the pose. And then gently come back to the centre. And then, keeping the bolster where it is, have a block with a blanket over the top. And if you've got anything like it, I've got this like little mini bolster, which is basically just a towel wrapped in a pillowcase and kind of pinned to itself. So if you've got anything like that, then put that underneath your shins. If you don't, then don't worry. We're just going to come into the restorative surfboard pose. So you're just going to lay along the front of the bolster or the cushions. Make sure that your head is free of the end of the bolster, because we've all got different length bodies. Where the bolster goes at the kind of hips, that depends on the length of your body, but have your chin free of the end of the bolster. Then rest your head down onto the bolster, and then just rest your arms on the floor to the side of the block, and then allow yourself to just release into the floor. So release into the floor, let the back soften, and then just listen to your breath. Listen to the in-breath and the out-breath. And then we'll do a little bit of back breathing. So normal exhalations. So this time I want you to breathe into the area of the chest between the shoulder blades and out into the armpits. And then release with a normal exhalation. Then the second breath is into the middle of the back and out into the side ribs. And then a normal exhalation. And then the third breath is down into the base of the spine and out into the hips. And then release with the exhalation. So breathe in intermittently from into the chest, into the upper chest, and then a normal exhalation, then into the middle of the back, out into the ribs, and then a normal exhalation, and then down into the lower back, out into the hips. So just cycling around those three breaths. Just cycling around those three breaths. Just feel how the pose releases tension in the shoulders and around the neck. Okay, when you're ready, bring your breath back to a normal rhythm, just normal in breaths, normal out breaths. And bring your hands underneath your shoulders. And then push yourself up into a seated position. Come up onto your bolster and sit in cross legs. Just observe how your energy has changed. Find that levelness at the hips, find the levelness of the breath. Bring your hands into Namaste and draw an inhalation down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice this morning, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the forward bends and the twists and the pranayama bring to the body and to the mind. And draw your chin forwards and down to make contact with the chest. Lift up to meet the chest. Lift the chest up to meet the chin. Just spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude. gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. And then with an exhalation, release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. Bring the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb. And then raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel as though you have really lifted your energy and given yourself good, positive energy to put into your day. So thank you very much for joining me.